All right, let's talk about something that drives so many of us crazy. That feeling of having to borrow money just to get to the next paycheck. You know, the drill, you pay off a debt, you swear to yourself never again, but then somehow you end up right back where you started. Well, today, we're going to break that cycle for good. We're going to look at the system that keeps you trapped and then build a brand new one to set you free. Does the slide just hit a little too close to home? That sinking feeling when you look at your bank account and realize, uh-oh, my salary's not going to make it. It's an incredibly common and honestly super stressful place to be. And look, this is probably the most important thing you're going to hear today. Right from the start, let's get this straight. We're so often told that debt is some kind of personal failure, a lack of discipline. But that is just not the whole story. The real reason this cycle keeps repeating itself has nothing to do with you being bad with money. It's about the system you're operating in. So let's dig in and get to the real core of the issue. We're about to see why the debt itself isn't the actual problem. It's just a symptom of something way deeper. Okay, this right here, this is the big myth that traps people. We throw a little party when we clear a credit card thinking, yes, the battle is won. But the hard truth is that tons of people fall right back into debt, sometimes just months later. So why does that happen? Because becoming truly debt-free isn't about hitting zero. It's about changing the conditions that got you into debt in the first place. Let this one sink in, because it is the central idea for everything we're talking about. The debt you can see, that loan balance, that credit card bill, it's just the outward sign. It's like the fever, not the actual infection that's making you sick. Oh, I love this analogy because it's just so perfect. You can spend all of your time and energy mopping up water from the floor, right? That's you making those stressful debt payments. But until you get up on that roof and actually patch the hole, the water is just going to keep pouring in every single time it rains. We've got to fix the hole. So what is that hole in the roof? Let's break down the real underlying reasons this cycle of borrowing just keeps going and going by answering the questions I know you're already asking. This is the big one, isn't it? The question that keeps you up at night. You get paid, you pay your bills, you try to do everything right, and then somehow, before that next payday hits, you're short again. What is going on here? Well, the number one cause is a total lack of a buffer. See, without any kind of savings cushion, even a small unexpected event, a tire blows out, your kid gets sick, a family member needs help, it immediately becomes a crisis. And that crisis forces you to borrow. So you're not being irresponsible, you're just financially exposed. Debt is what rushes in to fill that empty space where a savings buffer should have been. Okay, but what if there wasn't a big emergency? What if the money just seems to evaporate? This is another huge piece of the puzzle we have to solve. A lot of the time, it's because your money doesn't have a plan. You haven't given every single dollar a specific job to do. So without that system telling your money where to go, it gets eaten alive by 1,000 tiny cuts. A food delivery here, a data top up there, an impulse buy because everyone else is doing it. These small leaks are what quietly sink the whole ship. And all of this, it just creates this heavy, heavy psychological weight. It can feel like you're just running on a hamster wheel, working so hard, but getting absolutely nowhere. So why is that feeling of being trapped so powerful? That feeling actually comes from a real psychological state called mental scarcity. When your brain is constantly worried about money being tight, it narrows its focus. All it can think about is surviving the immediate problem, and that makes it so much harder to think long-term. So what do? We choose the short-term relief of another loan, even when we know it's not the best choice in the long run. And listen, this is a human response, not some personal weakness. So it's really crucial we understand we're talking about a specific kind of debt here, what we call bad debt. This is the stuff that traps you. It's debt that's used to fund a lifestyle or just to survive, and it's basically taking the place of savings. We're talking about those high-interest credit cards, the payday loans, or using buy now, pay later for just everyday stuff. Here are the 3 giant red flags of bad debt, laid out plain and simple. 1, the interest rate is just punishingly high. 2, you have no clear plan or timeline to actually pay it off. And 3, it's being used for consumption, things that get used up, not for something that's going to generate more income. If your debt ticks these boxes, you're in a trap. All right, we've diagnosed the problem. We totally get the symptoms and the causes. So now let's get to the good part, the solution. We're going to walk through a practical, step-by-step system designed to create permanent financial freedom, not just some temporary fix.
Okay, here's the whole system at a glance. It's a process designed to fix every single one of those root causes we just talked about. We're going to focus on the first, most important step today, but let's quickly run through it. Step 1 is building that buffer so you're not exposed. Step 2, you stop budgeting in your head and give every dollar a job. Step 3, you automate it so good habits are easy. Step 4, you get a handle on your spending triggers. Then in Step 5, as you free up money, you redirect it immediately. Step 6, you create a clear no-borrow rule for yourself. And Step 7, you review it all every month. But for now, let's laser focus on that critical first step. I'm going to say this again. Before you get aggressive about attacking your debt, you absolutely must build a buffer. This is non-negotiable. This little pool of savings is your financial shock absorber. It's the thing that will protect you from life's little surprises and, most importantly, stop you from having to borrow again.
And let's put a real number on it to make it concrete. A starting goal of around $1,000 or a similar amount like 200,000 naira, if that's more relevant to you, is a fantastic target. It feels achievable, and it's enough money to handle most of those minor emergencies without completely wrecking your financial life. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? With a savings buffer, something that used to be a full-blown financial emergency that would send you spiraling into debt, now it just becomes an inconvenience. A hassle, sure, but one you can handle. That shift in feeling, that's your first real taste of financial freedom. And that brings us to our final and maybe most important section. We need to completely redefine what the end goal even looks like. Because trust me, it's not just about getting to a zero balance on your loans. It is something so much more powerful than that. This slide shows the mindset shift perfectly. The old goal was all about being perfect, which, let's be honest, is an impossible standard to live up to. The real goal, the one that's actually achievable, is about building resilience. It's about building a financial life where you simply don't need to borrow money just to handle the normal ups and downs of life. So if you've been stuck in this cycle, I really want you to take this away with you. You are not broken. Your willpower is not faulty. You are simply playing the game without the right equipment. You are missing the financial buffer for emergencies. You are missing the systems for your cash flow, and you are missing the psychological protections that help you make better long-term decisions. And that's our final thought. The ultimate goal here isn't just to get back to zero. It's to build financial habits, systems, and a mindset that are so strong, so resilient, that you simply outgrow the need for bad debt entirely. That is what true permanent financial freedom really is.